Hi everybody, quick update from the county board building. I haven't done an update in a while, so wanted to let you know of a couple things that went on this morning. This morning I was at the legislative committee meeting, and one of the things we're talking about is preparations for our state legislative agenda, and we'll be working on the federal agenda as well. One of the roles of the county board is to advocate for county issues to our state legislators and our federal representatives. So we work on putting together a document. It's pretty sizable. It's like a little book of all the things that are important to Will County, from infrastructure projects to mental health services, anything we can get help from the state or the federal level, both in terms of funding but also in terms of legislation, if there are certain things we want them to pass. So we come up with this document every year, present it to our federal and state representatives, and then see what they can do for us to help us out at their levels to make things work more smoothly at the county. So that was the main focus of our legislative committee today. And then after that, I stuck around for our complete count committee. So this is dealing with the census, and most people know the census is coming up. It's every 10 years, so it's in 2020. And this census is really important for a number of reasons. Every census is important, but the census is federally mandated by the Constitution that we all are counted where we live on April 1st. And it's not just citizens, it's anyone who lives in the United States on April 1st gets counted where they live. It's important for a couple of different reasons. First is representation. Congressional lines will be redrawn, and Illinois could lose one, and if we have an undercount, could even lose 2 congressional representatives, and that's not a good thing. So we want to make sure we get a full and complete count for representation. Political lines will also be redrawn based on the census numbers. So redistricting will happen it probably happens in late 2021 or early 22 after the numbers come in. So that first election in 2022 will be new district lines from where things are drawn today, and that's congressional districts. It's my county board district, and sometimes, in some cases, some other local government lines are redrawn. Another thing the census is important for is because the census numbers determine where federal dollars are distributed. So we want to make sure that Illinois is getting its fair share of federal dollars. This is especially important for the groups that tend to be undercounted. One of the most frequently undercounted groups in the United States are children under 5. And we kind of had a laugh about that today. One of the board members said, well, that's because when your kids are under 5, everything's so crazy that, you don't forget they're there, but you're just too crazy to even fill out the census. But the counting, for instance, those children under 5 makes sure that we have the right dollars going to the right communities to fund children's services and children's programs. And that's true. You can look across the board with different organizations and groups and where federal funding dollars go. A lot of people also don't realize that for-profit businesses, private businesses, use the census to determine what areas are growing and where it might be a good place to open a new headquarters or a new store. So if we want to see jobs brought into Illinois and jobs brought into our communities and a healthy economy, getting an accurate count in the census is very important for that as well. So the Census Committee, we're talking about reaching out to community organizations and making sure they have the tools and resources to reach their clientele so that those people know they need to fill out the census. The census is going to be available to be filled out online for the first time this decade. So that's a big change and will probably cause some confusion for some people. So we want to make sure people have a place to fill it out, and like your local library, and also the know-how to do it. If you don't like online, you can call a toll-free number and answer the census on the phone. And if you don't respond to the census in either of those ways, somebody will show up at your door, kind of the old school way, to ask how many people live there and what their ages are and all that other demographic information. So what we want to do is is get as many people as possible to fill out that census online or on the phone so that the whole process is efficient as possible. So we're going to be working with community organizations to make sure they can reach their clientele to get that message out. So those are the two big things we did at the county today. We have a lot of other stuff coming up, interesting conversations and debates coming up. We're talking about a motor fuel surcharge at the county. More details on that soon. We're going to be talking about whether or not the county is going to opt in or out for recreational cannabis sales, and a couple other interesting things coming up soon. So thanks very much. Have a good day. Bye.